I often think that if I had the confidence of today with the youth of then, but when I had the youth and the looks, I was not confident. I think a younger self is a self that is often still in formation. It is a self that doesn't totally trust itself. It's a self that wants other people to like you so that you can like yourself. It's a more vulnerable self. And the advice would really be, just know it changes. You do mature, and some of these things work themselves out. I have the power to bring other people after me and to influence them. Then it is a very generative power that is very different from I have the power to keep you out and to exclude and reject you. Once we understand the multiple phases of power, the second challenge is to know that traditionally, historically, whenever people experience power, it comes with a disconnect. And the true revolution will be that we can actually experience both dimensions and reconcile them, power and connection. If you want to change the other, change yourself. If relationships are made up of interdependent parts, if you change one part and consistently, non-contingently hold on to it, sooner or later the other one has to adapt to something. But the same thing would be true, and this is something I do want to say, particularly in light of the conversations we're having at this moment, where people are saying, why should I help you? You go figure out your stuff, you men, you people, When you help the other person change or grow, it is enlightened self-interest. Don't think you're just doing this for them. If we are interdependent parts, if they change, so does your life. You need a partner who can acknowledge how badly they hurt you. If they can't acknowledge that, if they minimize it, if they justify it, if they explain that in fact you drove them to do it, you're done. Because even if you don't feel guilty about the experience of the affair itself, you do have to feel remorse and guilt about how it hurts the other person. And then from there is the what did it mean for you? So I've always said, today we need a dual perspective. Affairs are about hurt and betrayal, but they are also about longing and loss and self-exploration. It's what did you go to look for there? Why did this happen to you? You learn to love yourself in the context of your relationships with others. This idea that you go first to work on yourself here and then you prepare this nice little package and you bring it to relationships, that is completely off, actually. It's interactive. You need a good amount of self-awareness, but you also need to be in relationships because it's people who help you become more aware. Practicing it, but other people let you see who you are. It's by being with others that you get to know who you are, and not just by sitting there alone and say, who am I? Who am I? This is a relational perspective on life. And I will stand by that. What I will say to you, I'm tired of the go fix yourself first and then go be in a relationship. Relationships help you to become who you are. The quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. Okay. Hence, make sure that you have a rich life and invest in your relationships. Nobody's ever died hoping they had worked more. I believe that the bonds and the connections that we have with other people provide us with a greater sense of meaning and happiness and well-being than any other human experience, which is to say that it is the quality of your relationships which ultimately will determine the quality of your life. Recently someone was saying to me, in my relationship, one person does all the cooking and one person does all the dishes. And it works out well for us. It's like, it's equal. And I said, no, it's not equal. It's fair. Because you don't do the same things that are distributed equally. But you have a sense that each of you basically is either doing the thing you like the most, or each of you is either doing the thing that each of you dislike the least. It can go in both directions.
What is a good way to end the fight?
I don't think at this moment I'm doing justice to this conversation. I'm going to go cool off and we'll come back. Because otherwise I'm going to regret what I'm going to say, and I don't want to do that. And then you need to not follow me around the house. You need to let me go and trust that I will come back. The person who leaves has the right to go, but they have to be the one to come back. 2, you know what? Apology is really important. When I did this yesterday, I was out of line. I was angry. I wanted to shoot. I wanted to hurt. I felt attacked. And I really regret this, and I'm really sorry. That goes a long way too.